Hey guys, welcome back to Dreamcatcher Financial Solutions podcast. We have a very special guest, Colton Langley, correct?
Kangley.
Kangley, my
It's
gosh.
It's
I'm like,
Ella
it's-
Langley. It's Ella Langley.
I've been listening too much
Ella Langley.
Ella Langley, right?
Are you an Ella fella?
Is that what they call us now?
I guess I guess you could consider me one. Yeah, I'm a fan.
I'm a Swiftie for sure.
You lost me. You lost me.
Taylor Swift, you know?
No, I know.
Oh, he knows. So I guess I'm an Ella fella.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
and then what's
So
the
Colton-
girl? What's the girl one?
Colton Kangley. That's it. Huh?
Langley ladies.
Langley ladies. All right, so we got this special guest, Colton, on air with us. Thank you for being with us, Colton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super excited. I want you guys to know who he is because he's kind of our behind the scenes guy, man. He's like the wizard behind a lot of Dreamcatcher's success and a lot of the stuff that we do for you guys and folks that are our clients and our agents, people just in the industry that watch us. So, but Colton has some Native American background, and I'd like you to go ahead and talk a little bit about maybe what you do, who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff.
I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but I'll try. Right? Yeah. So I grew up in Texas. So I'm Choctaw, actually. So my family's from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And I guess a lot of my family's in like the history books, right, and all that. So like if you look up like the Choctaw tribe and stuff like that. So I know a little bit about it. I didn't grow up on the res, but I know that life to a certain degree. But yeah, I grew up in small town Texas, played baseball my whole entire life. That was my identity. But then, so my story is a little different, I guess. So played baseball in college down in Waco. But my senior year, my daughter was born, right? Married my senior year. Christmas break of my freshman year in college, we found out we were expecting my son. So hung up the cleats. Right. And then from there, what I like to say is like, I have a master's degree in like life of hard knocks. Right. Growing up in Texas, I went into the oil field, was there for a hot minute. I was selling cars, went to work for my father-in-law in the salvage business. I was a helicopter mechanic for a little while. Right. So kind of a wide breadth of a background. Right. So I know of bar knowledge. Right. Mm-hmm. So I know a little bit about a lot of things. But so I was working for my father-in-law in the salvage business, family dynamics, right? Nothing bad. Just was like, hey, I'm gonna go try to make my own way, and I went back to selling cars. And I was on the car lot, and this tall, dark, handsome cowboy team roper walked on the lot. His name's Tyler Larson. We're talking out there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, man, I like you. He's like, I like you. He goes, come by my office. And 3 months later, I started in the financial service business.
Interesting.
Yeah, January 1, 2017.
Wow.
Right. So I was with a captive agency. Within a year, I was promoted to managing partner. So then a managing partner's role is to build the agency. So I was hiring and firing agents, basically. That is difficult because it's full-time. Right. It's like they come on full time. We won trips if I recruited 4 good agents a year. Right. And they had to hit metrics and stuff like that. So that was kind of our grade, if you will, was 4 a year. The numbers, though, were wild. So you had to they had all the data. So I had to interview like 400 people to find 4 good agents. What crazy. Right.
So you had you had to interview 400 people to find 4 good.
That was the number. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe not interview, but talk to 400 people about the opportunity. And then that would turn into interviews, onboarding, and then they had to hit metrics in their first quarter. Right. And it was, 4 and a quarter.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Crazy. It was extremely difficult. Right.
I guess you developed some mental toughness along the way, right? Interviewing and talking to 400 people per quarter, you said?
Yeah, it's it's so funny. Like you cannot pinpoint who's going to be successful in the business, right? And then like so, if you watched like my sales training I've done for you guys, right? The earnings per fact finder section was kind of my litmus test. So I would test them, say, hey, you're going to earn this much by running appointments on average. And if the ones that kind of took that challenge up were the ones that are basically are still in the business.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But you can't pinpoint it, right? Like, and everyone's got their own, runway, if you will, to being a successful agent, right? Some 30 days, some it might be years, so you can't discount the ones that are maybe slow to start because you never know when that epiphany is going to happen, right? Though what's hard as a leader, in my opinion, is figuring out which agents are you going to invest your time, money, effort in, right? That's hard, especially at like the level you guys are, like how many agents you have, right? So that's a very, very difficult. That's why you get paid,
yeah.
Yep.
right? I mean, seriously, like with that, it's a great responsibility, right? It's a great reward, right? But that's a difficult thing when you have a huge team, and you have to figure out where you're going to spend your time. Time is your valuable asset, right? The most valuable asset we have.
100%. That's I love that you brought up that leadership part, because I think a lot of people don't see us. Maybe they do. I don't know. I like to think they see us selling products. They see us, financial solutions, but there's a leadership development component to our business and our industry, and that is tough sometimes, like you're saying. And that's one thing we can't pinpoint a lot of times is who's going to be good or who's not going to be good, or who's going to blossom later, or who's going to be a one-hit wonder, so to speak. So that is something that that we deal with, and we have good folks like yourself that are helping us along the way too as well. So
well, I think what makes a good leader, and you guys, I talk about you guys about like with every team, right? Within experience, and one of the reasons why I talk about you guys is you lead by example, right? You can't push a rope, you can pull it. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I've got all these little cliches that but when I wasn't there, and I apologize, but when you're in front of them and you make a call to somebody and you ask for a business meeting in front of them and you set an appointment, like you're leading by example, you're doing the production. That's like anybody can do that. But like, so a lot of the leaders just like, oh, go do it. No, you guys are sitting there going, watch me. I'll show you exactly how it's done.
absolutely.
And I think that makes a good leader, right? And so I talk to a lot of these guys that want to be EDs, and they're like, "Well, I'm building a team." I'm like, "Okay, so what have you done?" I'm just curious. It's hard to say, oh, I can teach you how to go get your ring, if you don't have a ring. Like, how can you teach someone that's never done it, right? So if you know how to go drum up business and set appointments and close meetings and close big clients, then you can teach that, right? And now, instead of you're trying to sell the dream, you're living the dream, and they're like, oh, well, teach me what you do.
100%.
You can teach that.
It's such a simple concept when it comes to leadership. And I talk about this a lot, Colton, where I'm like, you have to be a do-it-first leader. You have to show people examples, and you have to be a living testament to that leadership style, right? Too many times we have like you said, people telling us what to do, but they don't do it themselves. I actually asked this question on my social media, and I got some mixed responses. And I put, would you take advice about building wealth? Would you take advice about wealth from a person who's not wealthy? And because that's my lead from the front thing. And me personally, I wouldn't. If somebody's broke, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to tell me how to figure out my wealth and my portfolio, well, it makes no sense for me. That's like me saying, I'm going to teach you guys how to be parents. Well, Jason, do you have any kids? No. But I'm going to teach you how to be parents. It's the same concept. It doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah,
I think a lot of people, they discount that component of leadership. So.
100%. Well, it's like, oh, someone's in a hole, and I'll teach you how to get out of the hole. Well, you're still in the hole. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But the law of attraction is what takes over, in my opinion, right? Like, if you guys are doing what you're supposed to do as leaders, and you're exuding what being a successful agent and leader is, like, you don't have to sell anybody. They're like, teach me, right? That attraction becomes real. That's where you build, if you were trying to recruit two people, one that's, and say they're pre-licensed, say they're in the business, and you're broke, you're not leading by example. One of the agents is kind of worthless. The other's a rock star. You're not going to get the rock star if you're not a rock star.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way, because they're looking for guidance. They're looking for an atmosphere they can plug into and feed off the energy to go do those hard things, set the appointments, close the business. And if you have already done it, and you can just say, hey, this worked for me.
Absolutely. Can I ask you a question, Colton? Going back to the person, he didn't necessarily recruit you, but kind of you got along with this guy, right? I forget his name, the cowboy, the tall, handsome cowboy. You said. Anyway, was he the mentor? Did he become your mentor?
Yeah, and him and the other leader in the region, they were both my mentors, and they both led by example. And let me tell you something. You know the coaches you have growing up, like the ones that just were on you all the time, like you couldn't stand. But when you look back, it was like the best thing ever.
Absolutely.
That was them. Like they ripped all the time. They were on my case, right? And I don't know why that is. Maybe they saw potential and I wasn't living up to it. I don't know the reason.
100%. That was going to be my next point. That's what I was getting to. So these guys that mentored you, their leadership style, was it? And I come from that kind of leadership style too, where going back to when I was a little league, my coach was a Navajo code talker, and he was mean. He treated us 7, 8-year-old boys like men. He made us run hills, didn't care if it was 100 degrees outside, and he talked to us like we were grown men, even though we were just little 7, 8-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, my baseball coach, his name was Tom Hatch. He just passed away recently, but he was really mean. He'd be like, Jason, listen to me now. You're going to learn from this. Throw that ball in the middle of the plate right now. I want to see if you're paying attention. So I'm like scared when I threw it in the middle, the guy hits a home run. And he goes, that's what I'm talking about. Now you're starting to listen. Like he was that mean. I'm getting chills talking about it right now because he was the one that would tell me like, you don't let people talk to you this way, just because you're Navajo. I always remember him saying that. Because you're Native American, you could do anything with your, and people were scared of him. He was controversial too. A lot of parents complained about him to the school board, to all, but those two men, Tom Hatch and Coach Harold Foster, I'm so glad I had them when I was young as coaches. Then when we got into the financial service business, we had some pretty mean mentors too as well, right?
Yeah, we had some tough coaches. But I think that that's a part of it. We get great at anything that we do if we're really challenged by people who have done it first or do it first leaders. And that's something that we've always been attracted. Even when we met you, Colton, I knew you were somebody that could really help us put some things together. And even though, maybe like the leadership team, you are a part of our leadership team when it comes to a lot of the investments, because we have a standard when we're working with you, and we make sure that some things are in line. We make sure, and that all is a component of leadership. And that's the business that we're in is, we have leaders in all areas of and aspects of what we do, that we have leaders that are showing us how to do it because they've done it. And you've been doing what you do with us. You did it before you came and met us. So it was really easy to just come into the room and be like, okay, he does it too, so let's go.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. So I was doing a training with both of the guys, right? And they were the coaches, right, in the business for me. And the setup was it was a mock fact finder, or EFA is what you guys call it, right? And so I was talking to the lady, and then the regional director was sitting there, kind of like just like this setup right here. But she had a list of assets like on her paper that I was supposed to find in my presentation, right? Well, I didn't find something. You thought that I would have hit his child. He literally jumped down my throat, and it was like, you didn't do your job. Like, you said you practiced. You said you did this. You didn't find this account. Let me put this in perspective. First off, you didn't help the client, first and foremost. Secondarily, you missed out on X amount of revenue for you and your family. And he just ripped me. And I can guarantee you guys, I find every dime still to this day when I meet with a client, right? It does them a disservice, and then you as an agent, it does you a disservice if you're not doing a good job. And then it's like, that's when I was like, okay, I'm practicing my scripts. I don't miss anything. It still shakes me today. Like that was a great learning experience, but he was so hard on me. Now, yeah, I'm not going to miss a dime, right, in a fact finder, because I said, like, that's part of the job, like, to help them. Well, if you're not doing your part, how can you help them fully? Right?
100% agrees. So, yeah, Naomi's rather pretty new with our team, Colton. So she just went full time recently. So she's
Congratulations.
She's kind of getting a little bit of, because she's direct to us and she's our part-time assistant and she's with us a lot. So she's starting to see a lot of that. She's learning pretty quickly. And I think it's good that you're on with us. And I don't know how that's been for you, Naomi, because we've come down on you hard a couple times, right? And I think our team has realized, like, oh my gosh, there's two things happening with our team. Half our team is saying, oh my gosh, Omi is the favorite. Omi is this. Naomi is that for Jason and Stephanie. The other half is like, I am so glad I'm not in Naomi's shoes because they're probably the first. She's probably the first one to get the brunt of all of this, and it becomes down to that tough love, right? That leadership. So, and it does. It's coming from a place of love. I'm sure those guys that got mad at you and just lit you up, it was because they know your potential and.
He knocked on my door at 8 a.m. because I wasn't up and at him. Like, yeah. So I would take it as a good thing, right? Because you're getting mentored by very successful and some of arguably the best agents in Experior, right?
Thank you, Colton.
And I don't say that lightly, right? It's because it's day in and day out. Like the consistency. Well, how long ago did you guys join Experior?
It'll be 2 years on Halloween night.
Yeah. So 2 years of consistent grinding, growing, production, right? Like the proof is in the pudding. So it's like follow the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so it's good for you. Good for you.
I have a question for you,
Okay.
Colton. So for individuals, and this is just a trend that I happen to see with being in the industry with Jason and Stephanie, but what advice would you give to those individuals who don't have that mental toughness, but they're trying to gain it?
Fail.
And it's okay to fail, right?
Yes. Yeah. I've got scars. You can't see them, but I've got scars from face planting hundreds and thousands of times at this point.
Yeah.
Right? That's a hard thing. So the hardest time, in my opinion, for the new agent is like the first couple months after you get licensed. Think about it. So you get licensed, you think you don't know anything, and you're supposed to go talk to people about things you don't know, right? Very difficult to do. Well, that's why you have your leaders, your field trainers, right? But what I have found too is ignorance is bliss in a lot of ways. I remember my first few call sessions. I don't know. I set countless appointments. As I knew more, it was actually a little more difficult, right? Because you overtalk, you overthink, and overdo everything. Now you're analyzing, and it's like just go do it, and fail along the way. What I would say about that, especially so when I transitioned to Quantum, I made 15,000 cold calls my first year, right? And I think one of the reasons I had a decent amount of success early on is because when I did fail on a phone call or I got hung up on or whatever, I tried as best as I could to not make the same mistake twice, right? So that I took that learning experience, and man, there was some calls, guys, I was on, huge opportunities. Like I was like, oh my, if I could get this guy, my life would change. Like, but the trajectory of my career would change. Like some big opportunities, and I just didn't deliver right, on the message or the phone call or whatever it was, the presentation, I never made that mistake again, right? So you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off. I would go grab a Diet Coke, right, to take a second, but I would sit there and I would kind of just, I wouldn't say ponder, but I would like dissect. Okay, what could I have done different? And I would talk to my leader, right? And I would say, okay, here's the conversation I had. Where did I mess up? And he would go, oh, you should have tried this and this. Okay, right? And then I would try not to try the best I could, try not to make that mistake again. And then it was just like, then you get momentum, and then everything shifts, and right? But that first few months of a newly licensed agent is very, very difficult, right? So having a little patience, having a little, right, and then, helping them get out of their comfort zone, right? Because, like, for me, I was sold cars. I knew nothing about life insurance. I knew nothing, right? So I'm supposed to go talk to my friends about, like, what? How? No, right? So that getting out of that comfort zone is a very hard thing to do for new agents, and that's what they're for.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, and then, like the way I was trained, there was no coddling. I was like on the deep end of the diving board, and they just like, go swim, right? And I was like, all right, I say sink or swim, right? But yeah, it's very hard. It's very daunting, right? So having a little patience, a little love, right? And showing that tough love when it's needed, that's a hard thing to do. There's art, not science, like being a leader. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
100%.
Long-winded. But
I think that's really great advice for individuals who are coming in, because as Stephanie and Jason said, I do believe that there is a misconcept that I am favored, but behind the scenes, like, I get probably the toughest coaching that they can give because I know I can handle it, but also because I know that it's coming from a place of love and care, but because they want me to be as successful and as, knowledgeable in this business too. And that's what I take it as. And that's the reason why I asked that question, because I feel like a lot of individuals have that misconcept of it's, oh, I failed, I can't do this, and then they quit. But that's not the reality of it.
yeah, I added a little bit to my sales training. One of the things that I added, what I called it was the everyday hustle, and it's called the 8-point day. I don't you haven't seen that?
No, I haven't. Not
Okay.
yet. We gotta book that one.
Yeah, so the 8-point day was for brand new agents, right? New agents don't know what a successful day is. Would that be fair to say?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then veteran agents, they don't think it's a successful day unless they maybe have an appointment or sign an app, right? So the way that it, there's certain things that all your goal is for the day is to get 8 points. Very simplistic. But in that 8 points, there's a few things, right? So you get a couple personal observations is what we called it. So like if you're at the grocery store and you see Mrs. Smith and you talk to them and you get a card or their number, that's called a personal observation. You get a handful of those, that's a point. You ask 12 people for an appointment, that's a point. You hold an appointment, that's a point. You write an application, that's a point. There's some other things in there that are kind of habit forming. So, for example, check in with your manager before 8:30 a.m. That's a point, right? You study for a designation or what have you. That's a point, right? You plan for your next day, right? So that night, if you plan for your day for tomorrow and you put your call list together and whatever that might be, that's a point, right? And in my experience, you get 8 points regularly, you will be successful, right? But it's a very easy way for new agents to get in those habits. But also there's those activities. And I can't tell you guys how many times it's like 7:30 at night and I have 7 points.
Oh.
And I've already I checked in with I did the easy stuff, right? So I checked in with my manager, right? I planned for my day and I'm like sitting there with 7 points. And I'm going, dadgummit. Like I need to make a phone call or two, right? And 9 times out of 10, that last phone call at 7 p.m. was the best phone call. I set the appointment, right? And I got my 8 points.
Yeah.
but it just pushes them just that little extra step, right? Some days I got 20 points, but I had to wake up the next day and get 8, right? And so that part of that presentation that I added, right, is for new agents, just get 8 points. I don't care how, right? It's right. And then if they do that enough, the first few days are easy, right? You can get 8 points like the first couple of days, and then you know a couple weeks in, you're like, dang, I'm kind of struggling to get 8 points. But that's the grind that these new agents, to be successful, you know, what does a successful day look like? It may not be what you think. You know, you don't have to sign an app to have a successful day. That's the gold standard. But if you're doing those activities that lead to appointments, revenue, meeting people, that's where the magic happens.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. And I can't wait to have you on our team to teach us that 8 points.
Yeah, 100%. So it's funny. I don't know what you called it, bartender knowledge or something like that. I don't know if that's is that what you said.
Bar knowledge.
Bar knowledge, but sometimes like I get made fun of a lot for this because I have a knowledge of a bunch of useless stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've got it too.
I could talk about Star Wars. I could talk about cars. I could talk about music. I could talk about all these different things that are irrelevant to. But that in itself is a skill when you're prospecting, when you're friendship farming, when you're getting to know people, your ice-breaking conversations for potential clients or recruits. Hey, I like your Star Wars shirt. Oh, really? I'm a Star Wars fan too. Then boom. So this is what I do, you know. Or hey, that's a nice car. Wow, that's a '68 Chevy. Oh, great. You know. Or you start talking about these different things, and you mentioned that, and I'm just curious because when we met too, like we could talk about anything.
Yeah.
Anything. And what freaked me out was like, this guy's not native.
I don't look. Yeah,
not
that's
native.
true. I've got my.
And then he started talking about. He's like, I'm from Choctaw, and then he started talking about some res things. I'm like, oh yeah, he knows that res life. So I thought that was really
He
cool.
literally took his card, his
Got it.
yeah,
enrollment card.
his enrollment card, and it was like, it's real, guys.
And that was really cool. In closing, Colton, because you know we pride ourselves of being Native American Indian country's financial professionals, the first ones, so to speak. And it's not something that's made up. We heard it when we went to New York, right? We heard it when we were in the practice company. We heard it when we go to these, like when we're invited to like the Quantums and the different carriers throughout North America that they've never seen this. And I've even had people say, I've been in the industry for 60 years. I've never met a Native American in this. But now look at this, even Colton, Choctaw, you know, Navajo, we have people with Zuni. I think that's a really wonderful thing that the natives are finally making their way into the financial service industry. And there's actually a few of us that are pretty good at it. So to that point, I appreciate all your help, Colton, everything that you do for us and Indian Country, and not just Indian Country, but man, Experior and Team Diamond as a whole, man, we have so much respect for us. We have so much respect for you too as well. So in closing, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have to do this again. This was fun. Yeah, I got my hamster wheel starts turning. Yeah, we can just record. You know what I mean?
Good.
No, I appreciate you guys. You guys are doing amazing work. I mean, Callista will even say, like, I talk about you guys all the time because you're so dialed. Like, there's no hiccups. Getting up and running. You know, illustrations and product and whatever that is. Right, we're here to help, and you guys have taken full advantage of it. And it's been amazing to see, being amazing to be a part of. Right, and I can't wait for the next year or so. You guys are going to be rock stars. You already are rock stars, but yeah.
Thank you, Colton. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
See you
Till next time.
Yep.